We are so back, baby. The Calcio Guys, Gianni, Adreano, I'm Nicholas. It's been a while. Adrian, it's been a while. You've been away. But Calcio Guys, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Listen to us on all your favorite podcasting platforms. But guys, how's it going?
We're back, baby. We're back.
We're back.
Johnny's munching in the back over here. So
yeah, I have my microphone on mute because I'm munching on some popcorn, so I don't want to be that guy going like as we're trying to record the podcast. But doing pretty good, feeling snacky, but that's about it.
Sounds good. I just polished off some lemon cookies. My nonna brought them the other day, so yeah, I feel you, Johnny.
We could do an ASMR eating podcast.
Calcio Guys ASMR,
if you want, Gianni.
If the listeners want,
I don't think that's a good. Honestly speaking, I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think anybody wants to hear.
Wasn't loud enough.
Tantalizing. Listen, if the viewers want it, man, whatever gets the views, bro.
Maybe we'll make some experimentation.
Cucina Guys ASMR.
The only Calcio Guys account.
Only guys.
Only guy.
I'm dead.
But yeah, guys. Before we get into it, Adri, I mean, you just came back from Italy again, and this time you actually got to go to a soccer game because I know you went in the summer. You didn't really have that chance.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go to a soccer game, and that, you know what, I think all three of us have probably been dreaming about. You were able to see Italy play live. It was the game against Belgium, right? In October.
Yeah.
Tell us all about it. What was that experience like?
Yeah, listen, I didn't even know I was going to have the experience, to be honest with you. It was kind of like a last minute thing. Myself and my brother were able to go back to the motherland and just spend some time with family, some touristy stuff. And the day we landed, October 10th, was the game Italy versus Belgium at the Olimpico. We were able to get tickets just before taking off from Montreal to Rome, that we knew as soon as we got into that plane and then we would land, we would have a bit of that afternoon in Rome and then be able to go to the Olimpico for my second match at the Olimpico, because myself and you, Nick, went to go see the Lazio Juve back in 2019. But yeah, getting to see Italy live is something, like you said, Nick. I think a dream come true for not only us, but any Italian calcio fan. I think is a dream to see them in a somewhat of a competitive match. Obviously in a tournament, I think would be the ultimate goal and the ultimate dream. But just to see them in Nations League, at home in Rome at the Olimpico, it was a special game, special moment for myself, and ultimately not the result we wanted. I know it was a 2-2 draw, but listen, getting to see 4 goals, a red card by Pellegrini, just the joy off the 2 goals that were scored. It was just, I don't know. It was just like I think all the check marks on all the check boxes were checked, and it was just a great experience overall. I know there was a bit of before the match, they had a little moment for Toto Schilacci, who unfortunately passed away. They dedicated a moment for him, and just the opening presentation of the Nations League that, like, I guess you don't always see on TV, or maybe you don't tune in from minute 1 and you kind of miss it. Was just very cool to be part of. At the Olimpico, they put on a good show, and it was another case of that for this match. And seeing Spalletti on the sidelines with his normal antics, like just his facial reactions, his hands, he's going up and down the touch line, and you can kind of hear him as well, because we were sitting behind the behind the benches, not like right behind, but like in the sections behind the benches. So we saw that point of view, and luckily enough, we scored in the opening minute there, Cambiaso, and I had it on video, like from the moment, like from minute 1. So I had just made a quick video just to kind of panel in the stadium, and I saw that there was a bit of a turnover and a counterattack the other way, and Italy was heading forward. And I'm like, fuck, let me just continue this video. And long and behold, the great cross by Di Marco gets into Cambiaso. He's able to put it away, and just a crowd emotion. And I don't think it wasn't. I don't think it was a full house. If I'm not mistaken, it wasn't completely sold out, but for the most part, it was. And just the roar when Italy scored, and when Italy was having good moments in the game was just so electric to be a part of, and getting to sing the national anthem with our flags, and just being part of the spectacle, with random people on your left and on your right, embracing each other and singing the national anthem. The Italian national anthem was a cool thing as well. And I really enjoyed it. Honestly, really, really enjoyed it. Again, not the end result we wanted in terms of the win. I thought we were gonna go on and take the win after I saw that first half. Cambiaso and Retegui getting on the score sheet, and then unfortunate, a bit of a turn of events. I know you guys probably spoke about it at length when I was gone, but the red card by Pellegrini kind of changed the game a bit, and tale of two halves. The second half was a bit of a different half for Italy, and unfortunately got caught twice in that second half to ultimately draw the game. But besides the result, I think just the overall experience was one I'll never forget, and happy and grateful I was able to do it.
What was it like singing the national anthem?
It's cool, man. Like I brought my flag from home, and I'm like, fuck it. Like I don't know who we're gonna be sitting next to. I know it's gonna be like a bunch of randoms, a bunch of men, women, families, kids, whoever it is. But the people on both our sides were really, really cool, and just shooting the shit with them throughout the game. And when it was time for the national anthem, I'm like, listen, I'm holding my flag, so I don't care who's next to me. If there's nobody, if there's somebody, I don't care. And they each grabbed one end, and we all were like, arms over, kind of like embracing each other. And everybody knows the passion of the Italian national anthem, and there's always those famous posts every time the Azzurri sing the national anthem, and you kind of felt part of that moment, singing the national anthem, and actually being around like actual Italians from Italy, and just getting to experience that is just, it doesn't I guess it beats just doing it by yourself at home or with a couple buddies. But in a packed stadium, it's in Italy at the Olimpico in Rome, the Eternal City, you couldn't ask for anything better.
Moving on to present day, Gianni, the snack is good.
It's delicious. I'm loving popcorn right now.
There was some popcorn that you were able to eat while watching the games this weekend. Created some popcorn, whatever the expression is.
Get your popcorn ready.
Get your popcorn. Watch the games. Serie A. It was match day 11. For me, I think the big game coming into this weekend that everyone kind of expected fireworks was the Atalanta Napoli game. And Gianni, I know you are eating, but we'll interrupt the snack and let you speak for a while. But this is a game that. For Napoli, they came in hot. I don't know exactly how many wins in a row they had, but they came in hot, right? And Atalanta as well. And they're two of the better teams. If you look at the standings now, it's still okay. Napoli's still first. Yes, you got Inter there at second, but Atalanta's right there. They're on a 5-game win streak. Napoli coming in was at least 4 games. But this was, I'm going to say, surprising result. Like, if you'd say Atalanta would walk away with points from the Maradona, I would say, okay, probably a 1-1 draw, 2-2 draw, a high-scoring game. But it's 3-0, a repeat of last year. They also won 3-0. I forgot if it was in Napoli or in Bergamo. But Lukman with 2 goals and Retegui with another. But Gianni, I don't know if you had a chance to watch the game, but was this surprising at all for Napoli, considering the run of form? And I'm not going to say, okay, is it worrying? But
no, but it's a key game that's lost.
Yeah.
Especially that Atalanta, is nipping at the heels. They're also trying to make a like, coming off a Europa League championship last year, they're trying to show that like what we could take the next step of, winning Serie A. So they're making that push if it's possible. But mind you, their players are just on fire this year. So why not? It's about getting hot at the right time, and they're only 3 points behind. So it's a very big game for them. This game was too early for me. I slept in that day because it's one of the few days that I can sleep in. But I managed to watch some highlights and, catch up on a few things. And yeah, honestly, it just was a tale of Atalanta coming in with a very good game plan, but Mere himself was just not good. It was just that. It was just Mere himself just really performing poorly, and the team themselves just couldn't break through. And I think, honestly speaking, we have to give credit a bit to Atalanta themselves for being the better team. It's straight up them just being the better team. So going forward, I think that Napoli, now they know, okay, if they're going to get them on the clapback game, they have to understand that this is basically how Atalanta likes to play their game. So tough loss. But from what I saw from the little tidbits, it would have helped if Napoli had better goaltending. But what can you do? Mere himself he's not as good as he wanted to be, and it's been like this since last year, even this year a bit. Like the games that he's played have been very lackluster. So for me, it's more Mere, like just having one of his bad ones.
I think it's a small dent in the run of form that Napoli has had. I know I haven't been away. I wasn't able to catch all the games, but and not coming back, the same case. But I think personally, for Napoli's sake, I think it was just this game. Obviously, is a big one because it's against a direct rival, and especially in the table. But I think I don't know if fans are going crazy, about this loss, but I wouldn't take it for too much. I mean, obviously it hurts to lose 3-0 after they've been able to score kind of when they've wanted to this season. I think it's a small dent, but again, you got to give, like Gianni said, I think you got to get credit to Atalanta, like you said, Nick. Lukman 2 goals, Retegui another goal. I think it's 11 goals in 11 games for him. I think he's on top of the Capo Canoniere leaderboard. So I think it's more credit to Atalanta for taking advantage of a Napoli who played midweek. The Tuesday game against Milan, and were able to really dominate that game, and then having to come back. And obviously, I think the target is obviously on Napoli's back, seeing how they've been able to perform, seeing that they're in first place. So any chance that these teams around them can take to kind of take them down, they'll definitely jump on that. So I think that was one of those cases in this particular matchup. And kudos to Gasperini and his men, but I don't think Napoli should. Ultimately, I don't think Napoli should be all too worried, but I think something definitely to look back on and not not to be able to take a loss like that, down in the future.
How many goals is that now for Retegui?
11. I think it's 11 and 11.
Jesus.
The man is on fire.
Look it up. Look it up. I think it's
11. 11. Yeah. Wow.
He's on top. He's
still in first now, huh? Wow.
Pretty sure.
That's crazy. And Adrian, me and Gianni were talking before how there was rumors that he'd leave the Serie A before the season because his transfer to Atalanta was a bit late, no? Didn't they get him when Scamacca got hurt?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they did. They were able to jump. If I remember correctly, he went down with his injury, and they were able to capitalize on getting a replacement for him like almost instantly. They were able to bring Retegui, who, again, small sample size in Genoa, but I think the perfect move so far for him. It's going to be funny, and it's going to be interesting to see when Scamacca comes back, how that all plays out. But I don't Retegui right now is unplayable. Like you could not take him out of the lineup. Like he's just been red hot. He's scoring for Italy as well. I was able to see that live. So he's a man on form, and when you got the hot hand, or in this case the hot foot, I think you just got to continue rolling with it. So kudos to him, and I'm happy to see him make that jump. Not only for his career at the club level, but also internationally for the Azzurri as well.
Yeah, and you know what they say, like everything happens for a reason, right? And
Exactly.
this is just one of the cases, and I hate to say that for Scamacca.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying like, oh, his injury happened for a reason. It's just more the process in which Atalanta got Retegui is it's one of those, you know, transfers that's Atalanta fans are probably going to talk about for a long time. That, you know, if Scamacca doesn't go down, they don't have Retegui. I don't think Scamacca scores 11 goals in 11 games. I don't think Atalanta is third in the table now with 22 points. So it's crazy. It's crazy. But
even when Scamacca comes back, like you, what argument do you have to play him over Retegui right now?
But it won't be for a while, right?
At the moment, none.
No, but if Retegui, like, let's just say, made this argument that, because since we're on the topic, right?
Yeah.
It continues and his form stays consistent. You know, what argument do you have to play Scamacca? Mind you can use it as a wealth of riches. You know, like, oh, Scamacca can come off the bench. Like, you definitely started Retegui, right? Like, either way, their offensive force is lethal right now. And it could potentially be stronger with Scamacca being back as well. That's something to consider in for Serie A right now.
I think it's you know, I know for me personally, I'm on the fence. I don't know if it's gonna be a blessing in disguise to kind of have both of them and be able to kind of play both of them. I don't know about together, but maybe, you know, one on, one off. You know, one game. And obviously they have Europe to play as well, but. You know, because Scamacca last season was a big player for them as well, especially down the stretch. You know, when it mattered most for Atalanta. So, you know, it's a shame to see him go down, like we said. But I think, you know, I really don't think you can take Retegui out of the lineup, and I'm curious to see how Gasperini plays his cards when those cards are dealt to him. And Nick, I don't know when Scamacca does come back. I don't know if it's still a couple months away, but I think it was at least 6 months that he was supposed to be out, if I'm not mistaken. And
didn't he tear his ACL?
Yeah, so I'm not sure the timeline, but like to current day, like I don't know like where they are on the timeline, but
yeah,
regardless,
it'll be a while.
It might be a little while. It might not. Maybe in the new year, we'll see. But yeah, as things stand now, I mean, Retegui is the guy, and I don't think you can take him out.
Another team that's scoring a lot, Fiorentina. I mean, they beat in this past weekend. Sorry, they beat Torino 1-0, only 1-0. You know, during the midweek match week last week, only 1-0 against Torino. Genoa. But before that, they beat Roma 5-1. They won in Europa League 4-2. They beat Lecce 6-0. They beat Milan 2-1 to start the month. And back in Europa League, their first game, it was 2-0. So they've been scoring a lot. Palladino's been doing a fantastic job. But for me, I think they're easily their best player this season is Moise Kean. 8 goals now in the Serie A. He scored against Torino. And he's just, you know, as a Juve fan, I forget if he's on loan. I'm pretty sure he's on loan now. But, you know, as a Juve fan, it makes me happy to see him do well. And it almost feels like we should have kept him. And I'm not saying that just because he's scoring goals, but I'm also saying that because Juve has no depth at striker. But at the same time, he probably wouldn't be playing like this if Juve had kept him on the bench, just rotating in for Vlahovic. So, you know what? Good for his confidence. Talk about national team. Good for the national team. I don't know if he'll make the squad. The next call-ups, I think it's in 2 weeks. But, you know, it's almost like a revitalization project. And Fiorentina, they either they grow players or they kind of revitalize players. Even now with Robin Gosens, he scored last week against Genoa. So it's good to see for these guys. And, you know, especially Kean, like I think he's almost like Vlahovic, where it's a confidence thing. So when he's down, he's down. But when he's on fire, kind of like his season that he had at PSG, he's on fire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and I think you got to give credit to Palladino. I think I honestly, you know, being able to kind of see a bit of the games and kind of see like how they're climbing up the table, you know, sneakily, like nobody's really talking about them. A lot of credit has to go to Palladino, still a young coach, making the jump from Monza to Fiorentina, not an easy one. But I think it was a slow start. So far they're rolling. We'll see how long it lasts. But no matter how long it ends up ultimately lasting in this time in this time of the season that they're doing well, you got to give praise and credit where credit's due, and I think Palladino has a lot to do with it. You know, his modern approach to the game and the tactics and just the play style. It's able to activate a guy like Keane and get him going. A guy that, like you said, Nick, needs that confidence, needs that mental stability to be able to play his game freely and not really be afraid to make a mistake or to say that, oh, I'm going to make a mistake, I'm going to get benched, I'm not going to be able to play next game or what have you. He's kind of their man up top, and ultimately for him, good for him. Like a good step in his career. I know he's made a lot of different steps in with playing with different clubs at such a young age, but again, he's still young and still has time to grow, and it seems like he's hitting the gritty every weekend after scoring. So it's good for him. And honestly, I think bringing guys like Bove, bringing guys like Colpani, young Italians to Fiorentina in the mix of the other players that they have, I think has been great. De Gea, talking about revitalization. This guy came out of was he free agent? I don't even know where he came from. It seemed like, and he's kind of making, flashback, Man U, De Gea type saves, and it's just another boost and another player that adds experience, and with its experience and youth with this Fiorentina team. Ultimately, I think always doing it for Joe Barone, who passed away for them, and I think it's big. It's really, really big for Fiorentina. We'll see ultimately how long it lasts. I don't know how long it could last, but I think if they continue on this path, they can make a push. Ultimately, for me, what I would like to see is for them finally to get over the Conference League hump in terms of winning the trophy. I think they've gotten so close in these past 2 years. I know Gianni was able to catch a game of theirs in Italy for the Conference League last season at the Franchi, and I think they just need to get over that hump, and hopefully they do it this year and see kind of where they lie in Serie A in terms of if they finish in the European spots or not.
Gianni, do you have anything to add?
Well, no, I mean, I will be the one that's a bit pessimistic to this. I think Fiorentina just has the benefit of playing with house money, so to speak. I don't know. It just feels like as if things are working out for them. Mm-hmm. Do I think they're going to consistently stay this way? I'll be the Debbie Downer here. I don't think so. I think eventually they're going to peter out a bit and just eventually dip in form. But that's just me making an assumption, because I Atalanta I could see consistently keeping this up. Fiorentina, yeah. I just feel like as if they've just been been doing very well for themselves.
Devil's advocate. That's
it's
it's fair.
It's not to say that I think they're a terrible team. No. I think they're to be top 4, but to do damage in some of the competitions, why not?
No, yeah, you're right. I agree. You're right, and like you said, they're in 4th now. Probably not realistic to maintain that all season.
It's so close too. How many points they have? 21, right? 20.
They're at 22. Atalanta's at 22. Inter's at 24. Napoli's at 25. There's Lazio in 5th place at 22. Juve's at 21, and then a bit of a separation. Milan in 7th at 17. But it's 11 match days in. We have 27 left. So I think this is going to be what you expect from Fiorentina, fighting for a European spot. Which one is it? That remains to be seen. But one team that's not fighting for Europe right now, fighting relegation, is Genoa. But they stole the headlines this week with Balotelli back in Serie A. Out of nowhere, you talk about De Gea, coming out of nowhere. This is Balotelli coming out of nowhere to Genoa, of all teams. Maybe we have to talk to our friend Fabrizio, but it's interesting. I don't know how much of an impact he'll have. Peter Monti's been playing well there. They won today. He came on in the 86th minute and got a yellow in the 90th. So cue that Mourinho video. Cue that Mourinho video. What was the team they were playing? in the Champions League.
Ruben Kazan.
Ruben Kazan. In halftime, I speak 14 minutes out of 15 only to Mario. Only ball. Only ball. Mario, no card. 46 minutes, red card.
Crazy. Don't touch anybody. What do? Right after the break, touch somebody.
But guys, what do you expect from Balotelli, and are you guys surprised at all from this?
I'll let Gianni go first. Honestly speaking, no. I mean, it's Balotelli. Like we love him for this reason. He always has like that character. He always has that type of like I don't want to say spark or like effect. I think effect is probably the best word for it. It's entertaining. It's lovable, and you know what? I'm happy that he's back in Serie A. We all know that. I mean, many times in episodes in the past, I've always mentioned I have a soft spot for him. I always want him to do well. So for me, you know, if this is how it's gonna be, this is how it's gonna be, and I wouldn't want it any other way. To be honest with you.
No, I have to agree with that. For me, I know he gets a lot of hate and I know he gets a lot of flack, but I'm a Balotelli fan. I've always been one. I think I'll always continue to be one. And it's just a player that, especially in our generation, in this last, I don't know, 15, 20 years, he's kind of been one of the more, entertaining / especially for the Italian national team, like, Serie A, whatever. He had his moments. In Serie A, he went to go win out elsewhere, obviously with City early on in his career too. But just influential player in these last 15, 20 years, Italian player for that matter. I think stole the hearts to a lot of people like in and around our generation. Everybody's always gonna bring back Euro 2012, his moments there, and the famous the celebration, the "Why Always Me" celebration. But just Balotelli is Balotelli. Like we wouldn't have it any other way. And interesting project that he goes to at Genoa. Giordino is a coach that I've liked. He's had moments, but it needs to be more consistent. Can he? Because right now they're I don't know if they're still in last place, I believe.
They're in
19th.
They're in 17th.
Oh, now they're in 17th. Okay, sorry. So before the game this past weekend, I think they were in last. They just jumped out of it into 17th. But listen, they're on that cut. So it's an interesting project that he goes to. Can he be a piece of the puzzle to save them from relegation? Only time will tell. But he has said it for a while that he's wanted to return to Italy. He wants to try to return to the national team. I know Spalletti said, we don't, we look at everybody. We don't kind of like, not discriminate, but we don't close the doors for anybody who wants to be there. So we'll see. Ultimately, I think it's just a really a waiting game with Balotelli. Like I know, like he hasn't played like in a professional game besides like today's like appearance in a little while now. So he needs to get back into game shape. I know he's obviously always going to be have these little intricacies and these little sparks of brilliance, because that's just the type of player he is and was and is. But back into game shape week in, week out, playing at in a top 5 league like Serie A, it's going to take some time for him to get, I think, his feet under him. But I'm intrigued to see how Giordino ultimately plays him, uses him, because like you said, Nick, they have a young striker in Pinamonti who's been pulling his weight and doing a lot for that attack. So I don't know, we'll see. Ultimately, like I said, I'm happy to see him back. It's a headline that I wasn't sure that was going to end up happening, because every day it seemed like he's talking, but they're not sure. And then there's like a blimp in the matrix. Oh, Totti's coming back at 48 years old, and then come back, and then it's like Balotelli's close to Genoa, and ultimately he
and then Totti's seen in gladiator armor elsewhere, and another
exactly. Another glimpse in the matrix, right? So it's one of these things that kind of came out of the blue, but ended up getting done. And I'm happy for Balotelli. He's still, what is he? I think he's 34 years old. So near the end, but we've seen a lot of guys in Serie A up there in age still be able to perform. The Ibras of the world, the Giroux, the Quagliarelas, the Luca Tonis, the Toto Di Natales, like these guys, the Pazzinis, the Giordinos back in the day, like these guys were able to have careers that, even though in their elderly, quote unquote elderly state of age in the sporting world, were still able to get it done and score some goals. I don't know if people are already saying, yeah, he's going to score 5 goals, 10 goals, 15 goals. Guys, I don't know how many goals he's going to score. I would like to see him get on the score sheet. I think that would be a moment that we would all enjoy. But listen, in what is it you said, Nick? 27 matches left to play. If he scores 5 to 7 goals, I think at the end of it, I don't know if he gets to 10.
That feels like a lot.
Nice. The 10 is, I think, asking a lot, but I would say 5 to 7. If you can do that in 27 games, I think I would hope Genoa fans can at least be pleased, as long as they obviously stay up in Serie A.